This is the Infinity Summit Group. Truth, passion, success.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Infinity Summit Group podcast. Today is June 27th, 2022. We've got a special guest on here today. Firstly, we'll introduce the members, and then we'll introduce our guest. I'm Noah.
Xavier.
Logan.
Jesse.
And then we have our special guest, Sapphire, on today.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Yeah. You got the cue perfectly. Most people are like, what do I do? That was great. So we brought Sapphire on because she is an owner / partial owner in a coffee roasting company, correct?
Not really partial owner, but that's my goal.
Okay.
So building
That's
up
fine.
there, yeah.
But you roast coffee and
Yeah.
you sell coffee.
I roast coffee. I sell coffee. I work as a barista manager at our coffee shop, and the goal is to just keep building the company with them. So.
Very nice. Heck yeah. So you work at the shop right now. Are you working there to build skills? Are you working there because you require income and it just happened to be in your field of study? Or what are we thinking?
It's to build skills right now in
Okay.
barista and coffee and customer service.
Oh.
As well as just kind of the passion that I've had for a long time to be in the coffee industry.
Mm-hmm.
I left my nice high-paying job for this passion of mine and this dream of mine just because it's a lot more, I feel like happier and more free in this industry. So
Fulfilling?
it's very fulfilling. Yeah, so to build skill, I'd say all
Good.
the above.
Good.
And how many years have you been in the coffee industry?
I've been roasting on my own at home for 2 years, and I would just sell to friends and family. And then I'd say around September-ish is when I started helping the owner of Logos with his coffee and just kind of doing my full-time job and as well as learning how to roast coffee. He took me under his wing to teach me roasting. And so I'd say maybe 2.5 years I've been in the industry. And now I'm full-time coffee, so I get to actually dial in my skills and remember that and keep going.
So the question for you is, how much caffeine do you have in a day?
Oh, I'd say too much. Way too much. When I first started at the coffee shop, it was probably I'd say 6 espresso shots a day.
Oh, my gosh. All right.
So, but now I'm cutting back. Now I'm at 2. So,
Okay.
you know.
Well, your body gets used to it, too. When you take
Yeah.
it so many times, when I was at Starbucks, I'd have to have 500 milligrams to fill, you know?
Yeah, it actually makes me tired because I've got ADD or whatever. Makes me tired. So there's no point in it other than the social aspect of drinking coffee.
Yeah.
So.
And just a real quick question. What's the difference between ADD and ADHD?
I'm not hyperactive. On the outside, on the physically outside hyperactive, I don't have that. It's all in my head. So.
Oh, okay. So ADHD, they're hyperactive outside too.
Yeah, ADHD, I'd say they're when they can't stop moving or they gotta walk up around the classroom in school.
I just had to clarify. I have never known the difference.
Oh, well, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Okay. Here, I've got a weird question. So there's always frappuccinos and macchiatos. What is the difference? I always go and I have no fucking clue what any of that shit means. I'm just give me the sweet one.
The sweet one? Yeah. So.
What's the difference between all of them? You know what I mean?
So, how far do you want me to go into this? I can nerd out?
All the way. Yeah, nerd
All
out.
the way?
Nerd out.
All
This
right.
is your shit.
So, we'll start on the smallest. You've got your espresso, which is just obviously espresso. Where I am at Logos, we do 2 shots of espresso per drink. The next up, you've got cortado, and that's equal parts espresso and steamed milk. And then you can go flat white, which is espresso, and then I'd say one third espresso, 2/3 steamed milk, and it's 6 ounces. Cappuccino is also 6 ounces, but the steamed milk is very frothy and It's called microfoam.
Okay.
So it's very frothy. And then you've got lattes, which are espresso and a lot of steamed milk. And a macchiato. Oh, let me back up. A macchiato is between espresso and cortado. So a traditional macchiato is espresso with a dollop of foam on it. That's it. It's, but, like usual macchiatos that you'd think of are like the big ones, the big lattes with, sugar, caramel, vanilla. You can order that, but then a frappuccino is like a frozen drink.
Okay, so I'm getting like most of the different names are kind of just how much cream or what type of, how they do the cream on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I always thought it was like a difference in the roast or like amount of sugar, and I don't know, but
I'd say the amount of sugar kind of applies, but the roast type is the same across the roast type doesn't really change in the espresso.
okay.
So per drink, I mean.
Right.
And what is espresso?
Espresso? That is, so, okay, you've got.
You're good, bro. There's no stupid questions.
There's no stupid questions. No, I'm happy to. You
This
guys
is
are
good
testing my
practice for her
skills.
training.
Yeah,
She's got to train people in.
I do. Yes. You've got pour over, which is okay. Sorry, guys.
Wait, are you going to make
Back
it
up.
complicated?
We're gonna go complicated.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
It's the way you're brewing your coffee. So you have drip, which is just a regular like Mr. Coffee maker drip. A pot of coffee.
Okay.
And then there's a pour over, which is kind of this like triangle looking funnel that is either attached or unattached to another cup or bowl looking thing. And you have your coffee grounds, and it's brewed kind of the same as regular drip coffee, but there's more of a science and recipe to it. Espresso is very compact coffee grounds that is like has high pressure water going through those coffee grounds and into your cup, and it's like an espresso shot just because it's just very tight, fine grinds. That water is like high pressure through it. Does that
Like
make sense?
Concentrated coffee.
Yes, very concentrated coffee.
One shot's like one cup of coffee approximately, isn't it? Or is it 2 shots? 2 shots is 1 cup of coffee? Approximately. Depending on your roast, I guess.
Yeah, depending on the roast. Yeah.
Goodness. I always do like 4 shots of espresso and everything, and I have no clue what it
Yes.
even is. It's
Oh,
like,
it's
yeah,
good
just give me
stuff.
all of it.
It's
Just
extra
give it all
coffee
of it.
flavor.
More of the caffeine, please.
Yeah.
No, my favorite drink to wake me up was uncut cold brew with 2 shots of espresso in it. Shoot it black.
Oh my.
And
So
I-
you're like,
I'd have 2 of those in the morning to wake me up.
Choose
when we
violence.
opened.
I can't even
dude.
imagine. I had a red eye for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was like, whoa, you guys, this is too much. Which a red eye is just black coffee with espresso in it. So what you're doing with the concentrated cold brew
So
with
good.
more espresso in it, that's a death wish.
No, I tested the limits of my caffeine capacities. I found myself crying in the car one day. I just couldn't handle it. That shit will spike your anxiety. So
It will. Been there,
look,
done that.
I drank it was a Trenta, so like 30 ounces, whatever. 30 ounces of cold brew on my way before a flight. And then I had my flight, which is stressful in and of itself. After I got in the car, after getting yelled at and stuff, I was just like, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I had to cut back on my coffee intake.
Oh, it'll give you anxiety out the ass.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's, crazy out there.
Everything is
So-
awesome.
How have your sales been from, we'll say, year one, beginning, until now? Have they improved quite a bit? Are they fairly consistent?
I'd say
it
they
been for you?
improved a lot, but just because I switched companies,
Mhm.
like I have a bigger company I'm a part of.
Yeah.
But I will say, there's less family and friends that buy the coffee than
Mhm.
what I had beforehand when I
Really?
was like trying to start up my own business.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Did you ever start your own business?
Yeah. It was called Jaded Coffee Roastery.
Okay.
And that's what I did for about 2 years, my home roasting. And that was more focused on, like, obviously learning how to roast, and I knew nothing compared to what I know now. And it was kind of my outlet from, I named it Jaded Coffee because it was my outlet from being jaded.
Oh, I was
So-
wondering. I was like, that's an interesting name.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
Jade is my middle
psych.
name. So
Okay.
I'm just very drawn to the jade, crystal and like what it means, and there's so much like intentional meaning behind why I named it Jaded and like
Are
stuff
you a
like
crystal
that.
gal?
Not really that much.
Okay.
Not like crazy.
I was gonna say,
I
white
mean, not that
girl,
they're crazy.
coffee, crystals.
Crystals, no.
We're getting a vibe here.
To be jaded, you have to be excited about something in the first place, and then either overindulge, to overindulge and then lose that excitement, and then it becomes like a chore. So that's why I named it Jaded, was because I don't know, was excited about something, like my 9-to-5 job, and then I would overindulge and like overcompensate in that job and just really give it my all, and then I'd just fall into a rut and like be like, oh, like I need creativity and stuff like that.
Oh.
And then that's like when I would go back to Jaded Coffee, and then, you know, grow on that, learn how to roast, stuff like that, and then I'd get pulled back to my 9-to-5, and then it just like happened a few times, so I'm like, that's a good name.
Yeah.
So what's the actual process of roasting beans?
So you get your green coffee from either you can do direct trade, which is like basically getting to know a small farm of coffee and getting to know the farmers and their family and stuff like that. And I eventually want to be able to go out and travel and, you know, find these farms and
Write that shit
buy their
off.
coffee. Yeah, write it off. And so you get your green coffee, or you can work with an importer, which is what we're doing now, is we're working with an importer. And they have a lot of knowledge on green coffee. They help us get our green coffee. Then we take that green coffee to our roastery, and then we roast it light to medium. We keep it on the lighter side of the roast because that's what specialty coffee is bringing out the naturally occurring flavor notes that like the farmer intended his coffee to taste like in the first place. Because the darker you go, then you burn off those flavor notes, and then you just get this acrid, it all tastes the same kind of dark coffee.
And green coffee.
I beg to differ. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, people have their preferences.
No, she knows better than me.
Is the green coffee just healthy?
Green coffee is a raw coffee bean.
Okay.
I should have brought some because it's really cool to see. Not a lot of people really have seen it before, but they're just the green coffee beans. Coffee beans are smushed together. That's why they have a flat end. There's two smushed together in a coffee cherry that is, you know, I'd say large grape size and red. So they're squished together, and then the process that you take the coffee out of the cherry really makes a difference on the roast. So they can either like kind of sun dry it on and then remove it, or they can just immediately remove the cherry from the coffee, and then the sun dried will be all fruity and floral flavors, and the like immediately washed off coffee bean will be a really crisp, clean cup. Like Guatemala is like that, and that's why it's my favorite. It's very clean. You just can't go wrong with it.
Guatemala is good.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of different strains of coffee bean, kind of like marijuana.
Yeah, I'd say a lot.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Probably more.
There could be, yeah. There's different strains in different regions and across the world, and different altitudes, and
Dang.
there's so many variables that go into how your coffee tastes in your cup. It's pretty cool.
It's crazy how a lot of people will just get like coffee or kind of anything in life and just not really think about where it came from or how hard it took to get that thing to them.
Yeah.
They just kind of take things for granted.
Seems
Maybe.
like that's with everything. Like
Yeah.
these mics, how many people had to touch this
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
make
many
it work?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the same thing with coffee, like just from the farmers, how they grew it, where they grew it, like what altitude, what region of the world, what it was grown next to, how it was picked from the coffee tree, then how that cherry was removed, and then how it's roasted, actually how it's imported, then how it's roasted, and then how you grind it, and then how you brew it, changes your cup of coffee. There's so many variables. I don't think if you even tried, you could get the same tasting cup of coffee, even out of like the same If you really dial it down, you guys do the science. I don't think you'll get 2 identical cups of coffee, like snowflakes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So coffee comes red.
It comes in a red. They're like pits of a cherry, kind of.
What the fuck?
Here, look.
So how does the
Just look it up.
skin
You can
taste?
Google it.
How does the cherry taste? Do you know?
I don't know personally, but it's almost like tart and pretty sweet and tart. And a lot of people actually use that to make like a tea.
Huh.
So I want to try that eventually, but I haven't gotten my hands on a coffee, like a live coffee cherry. I've just seen like dried ones and.
Can you grow them in Utah?
I've looked into that.
Really?
No, not really. We don't have the humidity for it.
Gotcha.
And
Probably
bunch
need
of
a
other things.
greenhouse, huh?
Yeah, you'd need a greenhouse, and then they even take 5 years before they start producing coffee cherries.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment of time and money and space, so that's why there's whole farms of that in other regions.
Yeah.
I think that there is coffee growing in California. There's one coffee plantation in California, but
Seems
I
like-
haven't tried their coffee yet.
Seems like Florida would have like some coffee trees too.
They might have a good climate for it. I haven't heard if there's any down there. I know there's a lot in Hawaii, and it's called Kona coffee. It's really hard to get right now, just because of all the things happening in the world. So
Pretty sure I tasted that one once.
So where
Maybe.
does your imported coffee come from? Like where do you import it from?
we've got Guatemala, Costa Rica, Colombia, Brazil,
Oh shit.
Ethiopia, where coffee started. There's like coffee wars, you guys. It gets intense.
Coffee
Yeah.
wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coffee wars.
Go into it.
So coffee started. I know the shallow basics basically. Coffee started in Ethiopia in this place called Yemen, and that coffee, Ethiopia coffee, is very florally, and some can be like peachy, or they're just like on that side of flavors basically. But that's where it started. Nobody really knows a real story of how somebody found coffee. Some say that like goats were eating these cherries and then they'd get all like jittery and just like go crazy, and so the human tried it, and then others say birds, and others say that the god showed it to them, and it's like there's so many different perceptions on how coffee was found in the first place. And then people in Ethiopia, I believe, wanted to just keep it there, and they'd have like spies come over from other countries. Like I think Indonesian spies would come and steal coffee plants, and then like when that place found out, they'd start wars, and like I think the UK had to do something about it. I don't know. I'm not
Dang.
100% sure, so don't quote me on any of that.
So, specialty coffee. The question is, are you ever going to get into the coffee that goes through animals first?
I'm interested to.
They'll pull coffee beans out
Try.
of animal shit,
Yeah,
Great.
and it's supposed to be a really rich, delicious coffee.
it is so
Okay.
expensive. It's crazy.
What?
They've got like monkeys. There's this cat one. The cat one's the most
Oof.
known. I can't remember what it's called, and I was just barely talking about it like last week with a customer. There's elephant coffee. It's like ivory coffee or whatever.
Okay, why is it supposed to make it better? 'Cause-
Just because I think they think the way it was processed and the other things that animal eats has to do
Add
with
some flavors.
adding flavors. Yeah. I want to try it if I ever get the chance to. I'm going to be really sicked out, but I'm going to do it just
Yeah.
to say I did. And I think that's why
course.
other people drink it, is just to say they did.
Well, if you can eat goat cheese, you can drink shit coffee.
I'm
Easy.
pretty sure, yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Goat cheese just tastes like you're licking the goat, so for the most part.
Yeah, agreed.
I do enjoy goat cheese, though.
Oh, well then, when I get shit coffee, I'll come straight to you.
Yes,
Be like,
please.
"No, we
Thank
gotta
you.
try this.
Thank you. I'd love it. Heck yeah. So, we were talking before the podcast, and you had mentioned that you had taken a bit of a pay cut, and you had already mentioned that as well.
Mhm.
Where did you come from again? What
So-
job before this?
Where did I come? Well, from my mom to
Okay.
start.
Oh, yes, of course. We're starting at the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning. No. I graduated. Okay. When I was 14, I wanted a coffee shop, and I knew this.
Oh.
And then I lost sight of that. And then I went to college and high school. Well, I went to high school and college thinking I'll be like a neurosurgeon or an accountant, and then like a botanist, and couldn't decide. ended up graduating with my associates in business science. Used that to get into the title industry, which is like title and escrow, helping people like with the transaction of buying a house. We would basically ensure that everything was legit. The property was legit, the people selling was legit, buying was legit, and ensuring the history of the property. Like usually insurance insures the future. So that's what title insurance is. I was there for 2.5 years. I started on the ground level of this other tech company in Utah, probably shall not be named. And then last September, they fired me. And
Why?
Boiling it down, because I said something I shouldn't have to somebody I shouldn't have. I was just very fed up and trying to communicate with certain people, and it didn't go well. And then I confided in somebody, and I just shouldn't have, because then they took that and used that to now be promoted. So there's that. That's at least my take on it. And then, I was down and out for about less than a month, and then I got another title job. And those people took really good care of me. Like, I'm very thankful for them taking me in and what they did for me and stuff. So
You can shout them out then.
it's Title Guarantee.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Started for Title Guarantee. They're awesome. I ended up getting my escrow license, and I was like really gonna just put my head down, and I'll be like a really good escrow officer, and like make good money, and just get up there and just be the best. And it was actually the first job I've ever had where I've really struggled to actually grasp the concept. Like any other job, I've been fine. I've like made it up to management and like leading people. And this job, I was there for like 9 months, and I was still struggling. And I think it was just because I had so much anxiety the whole time about being fired again that I didn't want to. I could not, like, no matter how hard I tried, give it my all and like really just get in and just learn it and all that. So had a lot of anxiety about that. It was like such a hard 9 months, you guys. And then in this May, I went in there and like gave my 2 weeks. And then, like, all of that just, like, fell off my shoulders. And I was like, wow, like, I can actually take a full breath now. And there was no reason that I felt that way, like, due to who I was working for. It was just because, like, my own issues I was having. And then I started with coffee full time.
So that sounds like that firing was a fairly humbling experience.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I was fighting really way too hard to save jobs of other people, and then it just was. They saved a lot of money letting me go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
Now I'm here.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah, with coffee and
With coffee.
Yeah.
and smiles.
Yeah. Seems like the biggest failures lead to the greatest triumphs.
Yeah, it felt like failure. I was like, I let so many people down. Like, I don't even know why, because it's not like my job mattered to them really, like, or it affected their lives. But yeah.
Well, it was to yourself too. It seems. I mean, if you're anything like me, kind of a perfectionist, and so to get fired from something, you're like, how the fuck does that even happen?
Yeah, I was like, sometimes I think about it, I'm still salty, but I'm, trying to be graceful about that. Yeah, so it was rough. I'd say just, I gave it my all. I worked so hard and like helped build something. And I wanted so badly to call it mine, but never could. Because, it's just a little baby guy compared to, the ones who actually own the company. And so I was like, you know what? I just need to be my own boss, my own entrepreneur, so I can build something and it can't be taken away from me.
Good.
Well, I get to
Good
see
for
you
you.
having a picture of that company every night. Just stab it with a knife. It's because of you.
Yeah, every time I see like a advertisement or something, I'm like, no.
Or you say thank you for that experience.
Yeah, I actually did write a thank you note to them
Really?
when I dropped off my equipment. And I don't know how I feel about that one yet. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
But I was like, thank you for the opportunities and stuff like that. So because I don't know. I just thought maybe being the bigger person or not letting my like anger and stuff like that get in the way of the good relationships I had.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So
And now she does coffee.
And now I do coffee and I smile and I brew it.
So
great.
what's your plan with, like, how far do you want to go? Like, are you planning to kind of take this off, make it huge, and like try to be, you know, wealthy off of it, or is it just more of like, I'm doing this because I just love it and I don't care about the money?
I'd say the latter. I want to keep my eye on my intentions, and like, of course, like money and stuff like that. It's cool. It makes like living way easier, and you can pay people to come clean your house, which is awesome. And but I just want to be able to be a part of building something, and that's my goal with this company, Logos, is to be a big part of just building it and growing it, and like, not that I need to be like, that's mine, but I also want to be like, this is mine and no one can take it away type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So just have my name to something for myself, not necessarily for recognition by other people, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Just to know you left your mark on the world.
Yeah. Yeah. At least feel like I did. I know
Mhm.
coffee's like minute and like doesn't save lives or anything, but
I don't know.
It does.
Some days I'm like, fuck, some
it
coffee
saves
might
other
save
people's
me.
lives. Yeah.
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 And if you ever get into the farms and stuff where you're actually going and visiting them, you could do some philanthropic stuff.
Yeah,
Easily.
I feel like I'll be able to make a bigger difference. There are other coffee companies that, like, almost, for lack of better words, adopt a farming family, and they take care of like their schooling. They make sure that there's enough workers and good paid workers so that the kids don't have to work, so that the kids can go to school, and then they fund the schools and the teachers and
That'd be awesome.
other like building projects and just kind of help that way. So that'd be cool to be a part of helping other people in that way, in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So would places like Starbucks, do they import? Or how do they do it?
I'm pretty sure they do. I don't know for a fact or anything like that, but I would guess so, since they're such a big company.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they did like hire their own team. I'd imagine too that they could have hired their own team to go out and make these relationships with the farmers, and
They
grab
go
their
through so
coffee
much
that way.
coffee, they'd have to have something.
They'd have to have something. Like, they couldn't, I don't think they could like get down and take the time in a certain area, and you know, they're just so big, so maybe they like have like an entire region just called Starbucks Seatopia or something.
And so, since finances aren't necessarily your goal, it is nice, of course. Then, where do you see yourself in 5 years with this company?
Hopefully, like, opening a few other shops and managing the roasting team and helping with like just the operations of, yeah, that.
Okay.
And more, like, obviously, I don't know, just building and seeing. I don't think there's, you know, the sky's the limit. I don't have like an end goal. It's more like just see how far I can go.
Yeah,
Run until my legs stop.
I like it.
good. And with doing coffee and customer service and everything, have you noticed the difference from when you started to now on how you interact with people?
Yeah, I'd say for sure. I was scared of people if they were mad at me, like I always have been. But then, and other people would have to handle that situation for me. And then now I'm like, I can, you know, be nice and graceful, but also hold my own. I want to be able to hold my own and not let people walk on me.
Yeah.
So they're like, why are you making this drink before this one? And I'll be like, because it's part of my process. Thank you.
Take that.
Yeah.
Go away.
So I'd say there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on my end, but I think there's at least progress that I can notice, like, within these couple months versus my last job where it took like 9 months and I just was not confident at all. So my confidence is at least building, and I notice that, which helps me build more, and it just compounds like that.
Well, you're public speaking right now.
I
Came
know.
onto a podcast.
I never thought I'd do that. I never thought I'd do this. So thank you for inviting me, because this is cool.
Yeah, you'd be surprised
yeah,
how many
absolutely.
people we've had refuse.
Really?
Yeah, we have a lot of people say no.
Oh, well, I
So
mean,
thank you.
I'm like, what's the harm?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we think, but I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to.
Yeah. It makes sense, just keeping things private.
Yeah,
Do you guys
I
have?
guess.
Sorry. Do you guys have
guess.
like an Instagram or a website?
Yeah. So I gave Noah a card there
Okay.
that
Hey.
has all the above:
I'll give that to
Instagram,
you so you can put that on the
Facebook.
YouTube vid.
our website. You can even subscribe to coffee on there. So
Wait, do you guys like send it out with a That's pretty cool.
yeah, subscription
Fancy.
program. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So when you were gonna make the leap from Jaded Coffee to Logos Coffee, what did that look like, and what was your thought process doing that?
Very
And
tearing.
okay.
And what?
And
Sorry.
how did that come about? Like, how'd you even find out about Logos?
Oh, okay. So Logos, last summer I met Nick, the owner, at a farmer's market in Daybreak. And I was just I was there with my sisters, but also like scoping out the farmer's market for coffee, because that was my next step with Jaded, was to be like, okay, the way I can get in and get more more people to know my company is like a farmer's market. So I want to see kind of what the competition was, and the only one I saw was Logos. So I walked up there, and Nick was like, hi, what can I help you with? And then I was like, what kind of roaster do you have? And he's like, oh, I have that kind of customer right now. And I'm like, yeah. And then we eventually, we got talking for a long time. And then he's like, you can come by and see like the roasting process, because I wanted to see what it was like on a bigger scale, not just my little like 4-ounce roaster that I was making pound bags with.
Yeah.
So, met him. Then after I got fired, went and helped him with roasting, to learn. And then, yeah, I was like, Nick, if you ever need help, like I currently don't have a job, so I can come bag for you or like roast for you and stuff like that. And then he talked with his business partner, and then his business partner was like, why didn't you just join the team? And so he's like, oh, Sapphire, why don't you just join the team? And so we did, or I did.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
How big is this company?
So it started in 2018, and I'd say it's not too big, like, Starbucks or Beans and Brews, but we did just barely open a coffee shop in April in Sugar House, and, we want to keep growing from there. I don't know, like, financially how big it is or anything like that, but we are in a couple stores, like the Salt and Honeys and the store, and we're up in Park City at the Chop Shop. And there's another Park City one that I can't remember right now. And we're at, like, all the farmers markets you can imagine.
Yeah.
Pioneer, Liberty, Wheeler Farm, Park City.
You guys are in Park City?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet, but I usually do the Wheeler Farm one. And Park City and Wheeler are both on Sundays. So, yeah.
That's pretty dang cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you were hired on as a barista manager for them. Are you partnered in any way with them? Do you plan on partnering
I
any
plan
way
on
with them?
plan on partnering. That was our talks in the beginning. They're like, well, show us what you got, and then we can talk about partnerships. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing right now currently,
And
is
do you
showing them
know
what I got.
Oh, sorry. Do you know the buy-in price for your partnership?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
You just...
We're working out, like, kind of, like, over so many hours I work, that will be converted instead of monetary value right now, because they can't afford that right now. Equity at the end of the year.
Yeah, sweat
So-
equity.
Sweat equity.
I like
yeah,
it.
That's the plan. So, and I like that plan because it just makes sense to me, because they can't fully afford to, I mean, we're still so tiny, and we have things we need to do, and we need other stuff to help us run. So I'm like, I'd pretty much rather get them paid first, so that, like, later down the road, we can just be bigger and not have to worry about
Okay.
these things. So sweat equity.
So they don't pay you right now?
No, they do.
They do pay
Yeah,
you?
they're
Okay.
yeah I would
But
have
part of your hours?
Yeah, so I get paid 35 hours a week instead of
Okay.
40. Anything
Okay.
over 35 is the sweat equity.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
I was gonna say that's new to me. I've never
That's
heard of
crazy.
it. You can
Yeah,
do
it
that.
was new to me too, but I'm like, makes sense. Sure.
Everything in business is negotiable.
Yeah.
Everything.
Even your lame.
Yes, everything. That's pretty dang sweet.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this year, they're going to basically do an analysis, how you've done, how much equity you have, all this jazz, and then see if they want to partner with you kind of thing, or if they just want to buy out your hours, or...
I guess so. We haven't really talked that far. We probably should, but we haven't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Important conversations. Do you have written contracts or anything on that?
Yeah, I've got,
Okay, good.
you know, a couple, so we're
Good.
working on it.
There's at least that.
Yeah, there's at least that.
Heck yeah. So, throughout all this, how do you keep up your mental health?
I think spending 40 plus hours a week in a place that I actually enjoy really helps.
Okay.
Doing something I enjoy. I've gotten a lot more outside time because I'm off at like 2:30 or 3, because that's when our shop closes, is at 2. And then I get the rest of the day to be outside and be in the garden and, you know, play with the dogs and go see family because I'm not too tired after a 9 to 5. Yeah, go grocery shopping. Didn't do that before.
Yeah. What time do you guys open in the morning? Like, what time do you got to get there?
I get there at 6:30 and we open at 7.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah, I've been up since 5 for the last week or so.
Oof. I feel that.
Yeah.
How is that with your husband? Like your relationship look?
He gets up around. I leave at 6 and he gets up at 6, and then I'm home at 3 and he's home around like 5:30 or 6. So that's
Okay.
not too bad. Do you mean the hours, or what do you mean?
Yeah, like yeah.
Okay.
Mostly
How have the
the
hours
work.
affect your relationship?
Oh, I'd say
Kind
they're
of
way
thing.
better now. He quit his job at his previous job. His hours were just really weird. He would work nights. I would work days. We never saw each
Oh.
other. So he changed his job, and now he has like a real set schedule, and we're actually able to hang out on the weekends and you know, have dinner together, which is new. So that was like a interesting change. So like an adjustment, I think, that we had to like almost relearn what it's like to be around each other constantly instead of like maybe a day out of the week.
Yeah.
It's a lot less alone time.
Yeah, for him. I'm like, I like this. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty dang sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you have any hobbies or anything you do? Or is coffee your hobby? That's your everything.
That's my everything. I'd say gardening. I'm getting really into plant propagation. So if any of you guys want a basil plant, I have so many babies.
What's plant
Propagation.
propagation?
Plant
Just like
propagation.
making baby plants?
Yeah, so you basically get a clipping of another plant and you put that in water, and then it grows roots, and then you can plant that, and then that will grow, and you can clip that and put that in water, and then it grows roots.
Okay.
I'll buy one from you.
You don't even have to buy one. I'll just give it to you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'll
So-
take one here.
It's way nicer where I live now because I actually have sunlight and my plants don't die. I even have a goji plant, you guys, and it has a cute little goji berry on it.
What's
What
a
is that?
goji?
It's like a really good tiny berry. It's about the size of a pomegranate seed thing.
Oh, tiny berries.
Sounds like something
Yeah.
from Dragon Ball Z.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're really nutritious and like have a lot of antioxidants, and they're very healthy for you.
Is
Yeah.
it superfood?
It's a superfood, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But I only have one. So
Do
yeah.
you do anything with succulents?
Yeah, so I actually attempted to break the succulents, like take them off their leaves and then propagate those basically, but I failed miserably. So I
Nice.
need to try again.
So I've seen a video. Tell me if this is possible.
Okay.
They took the top of a pineapple, they cut it in half, and then they put a slice of watermelon in it,
Mm.
and then they planted it. And the inside of the pineapple, when it grew, was red. Is that even possible?
What?
I don't think so.
I
No.
didn't think so, but
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, you don't even have a seed or starter of the watermelon. I don't think you could like propagate a watermelon just from a cutting from it.
I might have to try it. I saw 2 separate videos on it.
Give it a try. Let me know what your pine watermelon's like. Pine melon.
Pine melon.
Probably wouldn't taste very good.
It'd be interesting. A tart but watery.
Yeah.
Tart water.
Ew.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm
be
into
fun.
that. I also am a nerd and I play video games, you guys.
You play video
I
games?
do.
What do you
Yeah,
play?
My whole life. So I'm going to start with Animal Crossing because that's just my go-to, right?
Okay.
Minecraft I'm getting into with my,
Yeah.
my friend right now. Minecraft right now with my friend because she's never played it before. She's like, what is that? And
So
she's,
damn fun.
quote unquote, a gamer as well. And then I'm like, you're not a gamer if you don't even know what Minecraft is. So we've been playing that the last 2 weeks. Skyrim, you guys. I love Skyrim.
So fun.
So
yeah,
good.
I just love being this powerful orc and just fucking shit up, you guys.
Yes.
Diablo is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Divinity Original Sin 2. That one is a handful, but that one's fun. Let's see.
Have you ever played The Witcher 3?
I have not played it, but I got really into it when my husband was playing it and all those. So I really do like The Witcher. I think if I got my hands on that, I'd play it. So probably should.
Do you guys game together?
When there is a game that we both enjoy, yeah.
Okay.
Xbox?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I have right now. I'm not
Good deal.
picky, I guess, about those. Right now I play the Switch the most. So it's going from Switch to Xbox and having the A and B switched on me
Oh,
is
brutal.
brutal. Like you guys, for a gamer, it's brutal. And then Fire Emblem. I like that game.
That sounds
Never
like a
heard of that
Pokemon
one.
game.
I like
It's a
Pokemon
Nintendo
too.
game.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
close.
Nintendo. Yeah.
okay.
I do like Pokemon. Played Pokemon. I liked Sword and Shield. Aloha is my favorite.
Have you heard of that creepy, like, Pokemon song? I don't know, in Lavender Town or some shit.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No? Okay, never mind that.
No.
I guess it's a song that apparently makes people commit suicide.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's
That's
listen
in-
to it, you guys.
Yeah, it sounds like a banger.
It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. I listened to it, like, alone in my dark room at, like, 3 o'clock, and I was like, this feels fucking weird. Maybe it's just because I watched a video on it, but I don't like
Yeah,
this.
that's so interesting.
You dirt bike, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I dirt bike. That's another hobby. Dirt biking and camping and outside time. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
Okay. Outside time. I dirt bike. I didn't go last year because of the restrictions on and starting fires and wildfires.
Oof.
But this year, we're getting back on the bike. I like to go to AF Canyon. That one's fun. Or 5 Mile, which is close by.
Do you ever go to Moab?
I've never been, but I want to go.
Never been to Moab?
I've been on the outskirts of Moab and like kind of sand dune-y, but not like the legit sand dunes.
Right. Okay.
I want to go there.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I think I'm about to buy a dirt bike.
We just barely
Do
got
it.
2 of them.
Yeah?
My
You
dad
did?
just got 2 of them, and I've been learning to ride.
They're fucking sick.
They're so much fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
Day 1, it bucked me right off. Went out from under me.
Clutches on the left-hand side.
Yeah. I've never used I've never driven a manual car,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
I
was it?
didn't.
Not worth it?
No.
No, not
I
worth
hate
it.
manuals.
Yeah.
I have
Especially on
very
hills.
little experience with clutch, so
Well,
I'm
you'll
learning.
get there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
learning.
If you want to go with dirt biking, hit me up. Hopefully I'm not working.
Yeah.
If you could
I would
fly
hold
a
you
plane-
back.
Yeah, if you can fly a plane, I'm sure you can figure it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm like, well, I can't drive a manual, but I can fly a plane. Whatever.
Yeah, just rely
big
on your
deal.
core and your thigh muscles and not your arm muscles on the...
That's
on the
actually
handles.
good
Yeah,
to remember.
That makes sense because every time I get off those fucking things, my thighs are like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, so rely on that because if you're using all your arm muscles and you get into a sticky situation, you're gonna go flying very quickly.
Okay.
I like to fly.
I like to fly.
So another thing we like to always ask our guests is, what do you do, if anything, for your spirituality? Do
My
you
spirituality.
do you meditate? Do you go to church? Do you just vibe? Like, what do you do,
I
if
vibe.
anything?
I've been wanting to get into meditation for a while just to see what it's about. And
Okay.
like being like, if I had like a clear, silent mind, what would that be like?
Yeah.
And I asked my husband, what do you think about? He's like, nothing. And I'm like, just nothing. I can't fathom that, so I want to try that.
Nothing is an
You-
answer from
you-
a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd be surprised how many times I think about absolutely nothing.
I just can't fathom it.
Stare at a
Like,
wall. Wow.
wow.
Beautiful.
I pray and I do like to read on my own, but I don't go to church or anything like that.
Okay.
You know, I've got conversations with the big man upstairs,
Yeah.
and thank him every day, or at least I try to thank him every day for where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely been like a big clutch for me on this whole transition period. And to back up where you asked, like the transition between Jaded to Logos, I had a bunch of different signs that all meant the same thing, that I'll be guided and protected. So I'm just going with the flow, you know, obviously not making dumb decisions and be like, he'll protect me. Like it's
Catch me.
Yeah, catch me, and jumps off a bridge. No, I know I'll be guided and trust in that, and the protection's a big part of it, because that was what I was afraid of. Like, am I just gonna get used and screwed over, and I can't go back to Jaded, and like all this stuff, and just always like solid. No, you'll be protected. Don't worry about it.
So, from what it sounds like, you at least believe there is a God, and from there, it's all your personal whatever.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I'd say very personal. The more I learn on my own, the more I'm like, what the fuck were they talking about when I was a child, like a kid? So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have a lot of my own beliefs that like just would not vibe with those that taught me in the first place. You know what I'm trying to say? Like my
Are you
parents.
able to share any examples?
Yeah, we've talked all about this, so.
Oh, okay. Like, to be superficial first, like tattoos and like piercings and stuff like that. I don't have any, but I want to get some. Tattoos wise. And then like, you know, certain races and bloodlines even, and
Yeah.
Turns out it's pretty fucking stupid, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, where does it say that this certain, you know, like race and stuff like that has this, I don't know. To me, the best answer I've gotten is, oh, they'll just be in the back of the line to heaven. And I'm like, why?
Why?
But why?
But why? And also, if we're going to live eternally, that won't even matter how long you wait in a line. It just won't even matter. You're going to be eternal. It'll go by, like, so fast.
Nah, the line into heaven is like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Get that shit through.
It's gotta be. Honestly, the efficiency of Chick-fil-A should
Directly translate. Perfect.
to even how the U.S. is ran, guys. So
Okay.
it's efficient. Have you been there during lunch hour?
Oh,
You're
it's
out
amazing.
in 3 minutes.
Yeah, so nice.
Driving there takes longer than waiting there.
Do you know it costs only $10,000 to buy one? But the waiting list to buy one is like harder than becoming like a fucking government official or some shit.
Yeah,
like-
I had a high school teacher that eventually got one and then left being a teacher, but he was like in the process for like over 5 years, I think. So
Yeah, they've got like hundreds of thousands of applicants, and they'll choose less than 100 every year or whatever.
When he got one, he like had to make an announcement to the class because he was so excited. So
That's cute.
that was cool.
Yeah, I've heard the owners, or we'll say the initial investment partners, make about $200,000 a year.
Oh wow.
So it's not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby. Just for sitting there and watching it run, because
Chick-fil-A.
they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah, that's nice. But if you ever do get into finances or anything, or you want to improve your finances and all that jazz, look into mutual whole life insurance policies, please.
Mutual whole life insurance policies.
Yeah, so you know what life insurance is.
Yeah.
So a whole life insurance policy is something that accrues cash value. So you actually have value in your policy. It accrues interest for you at about 4% a year. That's after interest and dividends. And then you can take loans against it for your opportunities, such as buying a partnership or things like that. That's what we all use for our investment opportunities.
Oh, so like a HELOC, but on your life. Is that what it's like?
Kind of. Yeah, I guess kind of.
Okay.
That would work.
Nice.
But it's just look into them,
Okay.
or listen to our podcasts on them. They're massive tools for wealth accrual throughout your life. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
one of the
have to do
coolest
that.
tools I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that.
Okay,
That sounds cool.
check it out.
Check it out. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And then, is there anything else you guys have, by the way?
Parting advice.
Yes.
Yeah, parting advice.
Do you have any parting advice for the listeners? Now that you've been there, done that,
Yeah.
and you're still doing it.
I'd say, I think, hold on. I just
No,
need to gather
take your
my
time.
thoughts. There's like so many things.
Just spit them all out.
I'd say do your own research
Okay.
on, don't really, I don't want to be like, don't listen to what other people say, but for the most part, don't. Like, do your own research, find your own conclusion before you move on.
Did you have a lot of naysayers when you decided to enter coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I still do, yeah. When I told people, like, oh, I got a promotion now, I'm the manager of this place, and
Yeah.
it's only been like a month. They're like, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Are you going to do this? Are they going to do this? And I'm like, we're literally a new company. We can't. So still a lot of naysayers. And I don't know. For me, chasing the money was not as fulfilling as chasing the passion. And, like,
Of course.
your passion can happen. Your dream can happen. You just got to take small, tiny steps. It's going to be a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. My goal is to be, like, learn how to be self-sufficient in your own mental capacity, So you can make yourself happy. You can make yourself successful, and just by the way you perceive things and the way you look at your own life and how you receive and lots of things.
That's a good goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to learn a little bit more about that, I would recommend listening to Jordan Peterson a little bit.
This guy, Jordan
Yep.
Peterson? Okay.
And another guy, this is more for your spirituality, is Alan Watts.
Okay.
Damn good.
Okay.
And they're both on YouTube or wherever.
And read The Alchemist.
Oh, I have
Oh,
4
yeah.
times.
It's
Good.
a good one, huh?
It's my favorite
Follow
book.
the omens.
Yeah, that brings me back to Jesus.
Good.
Yeah, I read that I read that last summer again. And
Good.
I read it when I was in Peru, and I read it when I was in high school and college. Like, that's my go-to book. That's like my comfort book. So,
Good.
Yeah, I love that
Heck
book.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, Saf, we appreciate you coming on, and
thank
for
you.
all the naysayers out there, the fact that we invited you on here, we think you're badass.
Well, thank you so much.
yeah.
It really does mean a lot. I'm glad that, at least someone can support me in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
have a lot of supporters, but
There's a lot of naysayers, too.
there's a lot of naysayers, so
I understand.
Gotta have haters.
yeah. Haters gonna hate. Just put spoons over your eyes and be like, blocking out the haters.
And with that sage advice, thank you guys for joining us for another Infinity Summit Group podcast. And thank you again, Saf. And we'll see you guys next week.
Hell
Bye.